¿Qué pasa, campeones? And welcome to Churros y Tácticas Podcast. This time, trying not to distort the mic. Excuse the R's. It is Tuesday, the 27th of April, and here we are to discuss the Churros that took place over the weekend in La Liga, where Barca managed to leapfrog Real Madrid, or I'm actually technically getting ahead of myself, of course. We're tied on points at the moment. Barca in 3, Madrid in 2. Atletico still at the number 1 position, but also dropping vital points in that title race. It's heating up, seeing as thanks at the feet, I was going to say at the hands, but at the feet of Antoine Griezmann, Barca has managed to basically have this title within grasp reach. By what? By winning all of their remaining 6 games, with actually the luxury, I should say, of being able to tie 1 game and winning the rest. And that way, Barca would be proclaimed champions of this current La Liga season. What a turnaround that would be. But before I get too ahead of myself, of course, need to address tonight's big game of Real Madrid in the Champions League, the semi-final. Gorgeous! Madrid-Chelsea. I want to discuss all of that goodness as well. And here to discuss it with me is none other than Kiyan Sobhani. Fresh dress like $1,000,000 with on the white socks and the old blue chucks. It's Kiyan Sobhani. What's going on, Kiyan? Good to see your fresh showered face on the screen once again.
Thanks, man. I did some conditioning, body wash, did some grooming, some manscaping, did my hair a little bit, and have the lights turned on. The spotlight is on, and I'm here. I'm thankful for you because you're helping me kill some time before the game. I feel like when it's game day, on a big game day, it's like that day just drags on a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Okay,
tell me about it. You. What time is it over there? Because there, kickoff is at what time?
Here, the kickoff is at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock Eastern.
Right, exactly. I remember from my New York days. Yeah, like 2:45, 3 o'clock.
Yep.
We have a whole day to kill with work, with all the bullshit, and that drags on. That drags on.
The best case scenario is if you live in like Vancouver, LA, you just basically wake up and it's time to watch. You put some cereal in a bowl, get your coffee ready. No, I can't do that, Kiyan. I can't do that. I lived, morning games like in World Cups when I lived in New York as well. There was a World Cup that was in the morning for me. Though those are weird hours. I prefer to drag it on and build that tension up and live all that pre-game. The pre-game is half the game for me. Like, I love pre-game, post-game, and mid-game. Obviously the game, but all the pre and the post goodness is what I live for as well. So when it drags on, you just consume it more, you read more about it, you listen to the podcast, read up on your favorite journalist and listen to your podcast. I love all that stuff. Were you in New York for World Cup 2002?
No, I was in New York in 2006 when Barca beat Arsenal in the final. Yeah. So I was working for DJ Premier at the time, right? And I had to make an excuse to leave the office at like 2:30 so I could get to the bar by 2:45 and basically be off for the rest of the day because the game finishes. It's sort of end of office day, unless something's going on in the evening. I'm done for the day. And I said that, and not that Primo would ever listen to this podcast to begin with. If he does, shout out to you, Big Preem. But I said I was following like an English course. Was it that, or was it like a music business course, something along those lines? And it basically was like just my ticket out to leave and watch Barca in the Champions League. And it was so weird. You would come out and you're like drunk of happiness and drunk of alcohol. You're like, yes, we won the Champions League, baby. We beat Arsenal. Woo! And you just realize you're in the middle of Manhattan with people walking around you like, we don't give a fuck. Like,
we don't know.
Get out of here.
Is. Somebody call
We're
cops.
drunkard. We're drunkards that come out of the cave like, ooh, we won, baby. But that was fun. All of this, I'm saying all of this just to say that that I like the pregame and all of that stuff. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited because up the Chelsea. I've never been such a Chelsea fan in my life. In fact, Chelsea is one of those teams that are on my list of teams that I don't like, along with Madrid, obviously PSG, Chelsea. But man, Looking forward to this one, Kiyan.
By the way, before we go any further in the podcast, I think you have room to turn your gain down a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
A little bit more, yeah.
Or I'll sit a little back. How's that?
So how can we do this so that this podcast doesn't get outdated by the time people listen to the Real Madrid game? At least we don't have any Super League curveballs, unless as soon as we're finished publishing this, like all of a sudden FIFA comes out and be like, great news, we've decided to endorse the Super League. Super League is back on. 12 teams are back in. Are we allowed to joke about the Super League? I don't know. Maybe it's too soon.
Well, of course.
I don't know. People are so sensitive about this thing, man.
They are very sensitive. Very sensitive.
Anyway,
we can joke about it.
Liverpool, Chelsea, Real Madrid, rather. I think that's a thing that we just don't touch until Friday, I think.
Okay, well, but the pregame, I mean, just let me just give my 2 cents. I'm not going to be talking about the game with anybody else.
Give us all your jinxing powers, please. We all know what this is.
Yeah, let me at least do that. Okay. The thing is, here, remember last pod I said everybody has 2 opinions, right? One with a mind and one with a heart. I'll give you my heart opinion, then the mind will kick in. Heart is that Chelsea's defense is just way too powerful. That Vinicius is not going to enjoy the space that he had against, your Liverpools, etc. I have faith in that Chelsea defense to just muscle out, grind out at least a 0-0, maybe a 1-0 victory. Cech, remembering his good Ajax days when he kicked Real Madrid out of the European competition. They got Werner, Big Timo, and Tuchel teaming up for some German drama. Watch me support some German stuff. I've got some hope that Chelsea can stun Madrid at least in Stamford Bridge, and grind out a result. The brain, however, knows that Real Madrid will advance to the final, where they will play against a team that has never won the Champions League. So, it's experience against inexperience, and we will see who wins then. But Madrid will get to the final.
The inexperience thing is, I feel like a lot of people have talked about that over the past few days with regards to Real Madrid Chelsea. A lot of people actually feel that Chelsea are the favorites because of their organization and their defense, and that they're healthier. The only player they're missing tonight is Kovacic.
They're very healthy.
And Real Madrid are missing a lot of key players. And but a lot of people are saying, well, we'll tip the scales towards Real Madrid because of the experience thing, which I don't think is necessarily a foolish thing to do. I think experience certainly matters in times like this. I will also say that it's not as important as tactics and just performing better. Like we saw that against Ajax 2 years ago. What the hell did experience do us there in that situation, right? We'll see how that unfolds. I think I'm in agreement with a lot of people who are saying that this is going to be kind of boring, the first game. I kind of see it playing it that way for a variety of different reasons.
This is not going to be a 4-goal thriller in total, neither. I don't think 4 goals will be scored. I think the ida vuelta, the home and away leg, will end in maybe a 2-1 win for Madrid or something.
Well, there's a few reasons for that too. I think one, fatigue for both teams. They're both playing 2 games a week. They're already playing 2 games a week. They're going to be playing 2 games a week for the rest of the season. And also just these are 2 teams who can lean towards conservatism, right, in these big games. So I think you correctly stated that Vinicius is not going to have the same space he had against Liverpool. I don't think Chelsea will open up that way like Liverpool or Atalanta did. And I think both teams will kind of just be a little bit more conservative. And if there's a team that will go a little bit more offensive minded, or at least try to control things with the ball, it'll probably be Real Madrid, which worries me about their transition defense a little bit. So I think the second leg is probably where it gets, I don't know if exciting is the right word, but certainly when we start getting our stomachs getting turned into different gears, and the nervousness will kick in the second leg when things open up a little bit more. But yeah, that's
the thing. I mean, even if it does end in a 0-0, it's that classic scenario, right, where Chelsea could score a goal in Di Stefano and Real Madrid be faced with a 1-0 situation where Chelsea could advance. Again,
no, it's not a bad scoreline, by the way, for Real Madrid to go back to
hard talking.
Yeah, you're
back to Di Stefano. You mean?
First leg is.
Aren't they playing in London?
Tonight's
shit! Why did I think they're playing in London? Oh, okay. Fuck.
I actually saw a lot of people think that. Like, I even saw like articles state that.
I thought I was convinced. That's why I was.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's that out of the way. Now to the other juicy topic.
Liga.
Who's that creeping in the window? Pow! It's Barca now. Lurking. I mean, I've been dying to ask you this question. Tell me, Kiyan, who in your heart and your mind are your favorites to win La Liga this season?
Currently, as it's currently constructed, it's Barca. For sure.
So a complete flip. This weekend has pulled Madrid out of the title
I
race.
Didn't say they were my favorites. I said they're...
No, you did.
No, not mine.
Last
favorites, the overarching favorites, because like if you look at the schedule, the fate in Barca's hands, the amount of games that are left, the fact that Barcelona don't have to beat Atletico anymore, they can just draw them and still win the league.
Kiyan, you said that they were your favorite. You were convinced that Madrid was going to win La Liga.
I'm still going to
have it on tape.
That. Oh, I still have them as my. I think they're going to win. I'm just saying the mainstream favorite is Barcelona, rightfully so. But
okay, but you're talking mainstream. But according to you, Madrid is still winning. Apologies.
I'm going to still stick with my guns. Partly because it's too cowardly not to. I can't just. I can't be like.
That's what I'm thinking the whole time. Like,
I can't be like the wind, like just like blowing one direction and the other from week to week. That's too soft. It's not certain enough.
You got to stick to some principles.
Yeah, I got to stick to my.
And that's why I'm saying that Atlético de Madrid is still going to win La Liga and they will be crowned champions, because I've been saying that all season.
Well, so this was a dream week for Barca, right? And from a La Liga standpoint.
Absolutely.
So
this has been a good week.
I was surprised, like after Real Madrid dropped points against Real Betis, a lot of people felt like those two drop points were going to just bury them in the league. And certainly it was far from ideal. But I was a little surprised to see how many people actually went kind of towards that idea. Carvajal himself included after the game. He was quite pessimistic about the fact that they dropped 2 points and that really puts them in a difficult spot. He's not wrong. I'm not saying any of these people are wrong. That's not my point. But I looked at the table and I was like, we still haven't seen what happens when Atletico have to go to San Mamés the day after this happened. That's a really tough game. So I want to see how that plays out before I come to any conclusion. So I didn't really talk about the title race. Obviously,
because it benefits you too. It benefits Real Madrid too. Atletico dropping points, of course.
Yes, but it benefits Barca the most. That's the thing. And it basically allows Real Madrid and Barcelona to be alive still in this thing. But Barcelona with that game in hand, I'm looking at Barcelona's schedule. I'm not sure where the points are being dropped. I was hopeful that Villarreal might do something, and they played really well over the weekend.
You're talking about a team that dropped points against Cádiz, dropped points against Alaves, nearly dropped points against Valladolid. This Barca has 37 points in the first half of the season. This Barca has dropped points.
It's a fair point, but I will say that was a different version of Barcelona than the one that exists now. This one is better. The morale is higher. Players are more in form. And, excuse me. And you guys are just going to take it more seriously for the next few games, I think.
Yeah, it's do or die. It's all or nothing. And, I mean, we can smell it. Like I said in the intro, we got one hand on the cup properly now. One hand is firmly on the cup. Don't let it go.
When you look at the schedule, are there any of those games that worry you? Apart from Atletico, which I think I don't trust Atletico to take any points off of you, but even if they did, it's not even good for Real Madrid necessarily, so it doesn't matter.
You cannot put that down as a guarantee win. You just cannot. Valencia is always a Barça Valencia. In fact, it was last season Valencia beat us. I would have to go back to results. I need to.
I'm going to tell you right now exactly how that Valencia game is going to go. You want to hear it? Valencia will come out of their cave to play an amazing game. They're going to score a goal. Then something stupid's going to happen. Messi's going to score a free kick. And then in the 90th minute, there's going to be just some kind of brawl. And Gabriel Paulista is going to commit a red card offense in the box. And it's going to be a bullshit red card. It's not even going to be a real red card. It's just going to be like, okay, we have to just make sure Barcelona win this game. And then Barcelona win 2-1. 95th minute, they come away with a win at the Mestalla. And everybody just starts tearing their hair out. So that's settled. We know what's going to happen in that game.
The last two times we played was the Copa del Rey final. They won 2-1. And last year, December 19th, Barca Valencia, and it finished 2-all. Sorry. Valencia, when they face Barca, they more often than not, they step up to the plate, beating us in the Copa del Rey final 2-all first half of the season. This is a game where points can be dropped. You're very dismissive, and I don't like your jinxing, because that game is not going to go like that. I wish it did.
I think
even Villarreal was a massive test, no doubt about it.
We have to talk about that.
Valencia, of course. Valencia is always proven to be a test. Atlético is always a test. Levante, Paco Lopez side, if you cannot call them the Giant Slayer any more, or than we already should be calling this team the Giant Slayer. They are the David and we are the Goliath. We drop points against them in the past. Madrid is another team that whenever face this team, they're dropping points. Celta is a team with Iago Aspas that can sneak. Listen, these are tough games, man. I think you're being very dismissive not to see any banana peels. This league with 6 finals still left to play. Hay muchísima liga, and I there's too much for me at this point in time. Excitement, overconfidence that this Liga is now within. Barca are the heavy favorites. I'll give us the favorites etiqueta, right? The favorites little title, whatever you want to call it. But to call us the heavy favorites with I saw 75% votes for Barca that we're going to win. We're getting ahead of ourselves. There are plenty of games left to play where we can drop points and it can become an embarrassment to lose this league. Shit, man. Sevilla's within the fucking grasp reach for that matter. Sevilla's in this title race even for that matter. This is very exciting, man. I don't remember an end to La Liga this exciting. Since at least maybe 10 years or something. This is really quite special.
So Sevilla creeping up there is an amazing underrated storyline, but it's incredible to see the top 4 and then the distance between 4 and 5 in the league. It's just like the top 4 are wrapped up.
Okay, at some point.
Jostling for position there. My apologies. My dad is calling probably to talk about the game today. I was actually looking at that Levante game. I think that might be the hardest game on the schedule, even though on paper it says no. It's not going to be Atletico really probably is, but if I have to look for points to be dropped outside of that game, because that needs to happen for Real Madrid to have a chance anyway. So I'm looking outside of that game against Atleti. I think Levante is the one. I think, Levante at home, as you said, can be giant slayers. And I don't know, Celta, historically speaking, yes, but that's usually in Balaidos and not at the Camp Nou. So I don't really see that game to be giving you guys too much trouble.
Yeah. Don't underestimate that these teams will also be still fighting for their lives in first place in first division. Eibar also. Eibar at Ipurua. It's not easy. It's not nice to go to the Basque Country and play there.
That's a solid point, which means Maletas will be turned down by those teams because they have to fight for something. Although Eibar...
That's good. I support that, by the way. I support that. You?
Support
totally, what? Huh? I'm super in favor for estos maletines, the famous briefcases that get sent in order for a team to win. I think getting paid to win, I don't necessarily see a problem with that. I think it's I've liked it. The 90s were crazy.
What about the other way, paid to lose?
To lose? No. No. Come on, no. Esto no. There's a clear line. Win yes, lose no.
So the argument against your teams will be having to fight for something. By then, Eibar will probably be relegated, to be quite honest. That's the last match day of the season. I think now Granada, Thursday you guys play Granada? They're going to want to try to get to a Europa League spot. It's unlikely, but they're going to be still fighting for it. But this is the problem with facing those mid-table teams, is that they're in this treadmill of like, they're not going to get relegated. They're not going to get into Europe. So you have Levante is kind of in that situation, which actually I don't know how much they will have to fight for, to be honest. And Valencia, same thing. Levante, Valencia, even Celta. Actually, Celta might be fighting for Europe. I don't know. It could go either way, to be quite honest. But I don't know if those teams are actually having.
See, it's not that easy though, huh?
It's pretty easy.
It's not a cakewalk. A cakewalk.
Atleti have the hardest schedule.
This is a great.
They have to face Real Sociedad. I mean that's their big test outside of the Barca game, and Real Madrid. Would you say have the easiest schedule? Would you say? Sevilla, they have the hardest schedule actually remaining, because they have Sevilla, they have Granada away, they have Atlética San Mamés, and they have Villarreal at home. They have the hardest schedule.
No.
So you guys are the favorites. So don't blow it, man. If you blow it, that's embarrassing.
I don't know. I can't pull up.
And I really hope when you guys don't blow and you win the championship, I really, really hope that that's not going to be overshadowed by the Champions League victory of a certain team. I really hope so.
See, that's the thing. That is the thing that weighs heavy on all culés. And if it doesn't, you're lying to yourself.
I had a couple of questions to ask you, big picture things. One is...
What? Hey, schatje. Hey.
I want to talk about...
But the thing is, can I say something real quick? Because you kind of dismissed Barca's opponents real quick in the end there. Like I said, I don't have...
I think we're off the topic, man.
No, but listen, you talked about Real Sociedad, putting them in the mix, team like Villarreal. All of them are pretty much secured for the Europa League, you know? So it's not like they can...
Good teams on paper, and they want to beat Real Madrid always.
I don't know. I think Valencia, your Atlético de Madrid already, those two knockout punches. Levante away. Mucho peor. En fin, what did you want to say?
Barca things. What do you think should happen to Sergi Roberto and Ousmane Dembele? They have contracts running out in 2022. Sergi Roberto reportedly... maybe he feels like he needs something different, or Barca are not offering him a long-term contract. Dembele reportedly has an offer, but doesn't feel valued because the club tried to sell them. So where are you on those two? And also, did you know Sergi Roberto is already 29 years old? Because in my mind, he was just like this 23-year-old kid.
It's true. I did know this. I think I spoke about it with my boss. Because we were talking about the four captains of Barca, and I was like, I don't get why, Sergio Roberto would be captain ahead of like Ter Stegen. The four captains, Messi, Busquets, Piqué. And I said, plus he's like super young, and he doesn't outrank Ter Stegen. And Jordi, my boss, goes, well, he's like 29 or 30. I was like, get out of here, the fuck out of here, 29, 30. It's like, no. We looked it up. Yeah, that's insane. I mean, that puts things into perspective. Look, with Dembus, it's really easy, man. Dembus, in case you listen to this podcast, we've been good with you. We've been really, really good with you. We've been very patient with you. You've been at the club 4 or 5 years, and this is your best season. This is amazing. I love it. This is the Dembus that we all signed up on when you arrived at the club, Israel, 4 years ago. You're doing it now. You're doing great. We want to extend your contract. Do goodbye, Barca. Sign it. Don't be a pain. Don't squeeze out now in a moment where the club's going through terrible financial problems, difficulties. I think to try to now sucker. And the same can be said for Sergio Ramos, right? Because a lot of things are happening there behind the scene with his contract renewal. And look, I don't know enough about that, so don't let me reserve my opinion to just say that. As well with Dembele, let me just say that I hope that these players are not, purposefully taking advantage of clubs that are in these difficult situations, cash strapped. And I think with what they're earning and what they're being offered, I don't know the details, but I'm pretty sure on paper it's fair. And now it's also the time to show some consistency. So, pay some love back, show some consistency, not just from a one season, like a weekly basis, but also, let's get in another good season. It will be a second good season for Ousmane with no injuries, with just a good attitude, working hard on the field, being there for his players, running, scoring goals. Obviously, it'd be the end objective, winning games and assisting, etc. Which has been just it's been a joy to see Dembele in his skin and doing what he knows what to do best, right? But yeah, I don't get why. I hope it's not a situation where, and now you said that he feels hard done by. I don't know any of those. I would like to know what. Like, I think we've been very good with this player, fans and club alike, very patient and showing a lot of support, which isn't always the case with players that come to Barca either.
Well, I also think, to be fair to Barca, when they tried to offload him, whether it's because of injuries and the salary and stuff, and he's not playing much, and you had the whole video game stuff or whatever, it was a different board. It was a different regime than it is now, right? Yeah.
It was, and it was different times. Exactly. And, if I'm more... You have to, I guess, at some point also evaluate the offers that you get on the table and the investment that you've made and the amortization that happens on a yearly basis, of course. And length on a contract forms part of a deal. Obviously adds value or diminishes value of the value of a player and a potential transfer that could take place. So I don't know. I mean, you're talking about the time when Barca could offload. With who was it? It was serious conversations with PSG, I believe, in the Neymar swap. But his name has never been really out there on the table of. There were some rumors with Manchester United, I believe. Look, I think, like I said, I'll go back to what I said. I think I don't know the details of the offer that's on the table, but I'm sure it's fair and I'm sure it's generous enough, particularly given the times. Sure, it's not decreasing in value for what he's earning today, which is already a pretty hefty sum.
So I think we should talk about Barca Villarreal because it was actually one of the more entertaining games of the season that I've seen. It was nonstop action. It was back and forth. Both teams played really well. I think it's a second consecutive game now in La Liga where you just get gifted with goals. Which is ironic because ever since you came out and said Real Madrid get gifts from everybody, including that last Liverpool game in the first leg, that was perfect. That was amazing. Jinxing powers. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Getafe and Villarreal both sending you gifts, and you guys capitalized.
We appreciate. We love those. Yes, more. We can never have enough.
This was one of the games that was so close to being one of the games that, we were salivating over. Real Madrid fans were salivating over as the one that possibly you drop points in. Basically at the 1-0 and Pau Torres skips past Messi's press, plays a beautiful vertical ball to Samu, drops long lay. He rounds Ter Stegen and Samu had a great game.
Pau Torres who gives that assist? It was Pau Torres?
Very impressive.
Fuck, that's what I've been wanting to know. And that was a beauty. Nobody talks enough about that pass. That pass was amazing. As good as the finishing was of Chuku, which was brilliant. Chukweze was awesome. But that pass was fire, was light.
And it wasn't just the pass. It was that he had to escape Messi's press. That was the other thing. And then he had to play that pass. And look, Samu does really well. this was one of Samu's better games. He can be a frustrating player to watch.
Was so good as well.
But on his day, he could, like when he's
Jekyll
playing with
and
that
Hyde.
kind of confidence, the passes he was playing into the box, not just his dribbling, the passes he was playing into the box, his crossing. He had one outside the boot cross and like 2 crosses that like perfectly into the target, into a wide open Villarreal player. He was burning Pedri. He was burning Longley. Just a great Samu game. Unfortunately, Villarreal didn't get production from Alcácer or Gerard Moreno in this game, but Alcácer in particular had good chances. But similar to Pau Torres, we can't talk about Pau Torres' pass and not Mingueza's pass through Villarreal's highline to Griezmann, like literally right after the 1-0. So this was a really fun game. It's like just from a La Liga fan perspective, it was really fun to watch. It was also fun to watch Trigueros playing like we remember Trigueros playing like. And he's been good this season, but that the game against Barca reminded me of like the Trigueros of old, apart obviously, from that tackle. Besides that tackle, which got him sent off, which was a really bad tackle, by the way. This was a fun game. So you must have felt good.
It was fun. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was my frustration with this game is, again, we saw 2 Barças, one in the first half and another one in the second half, where even with 10 men, I felt that Villarreal could have or were on the verge of tying this match up and coming away with the 2-2 draw. I thought the first half was particularly good of Barça, and I enjoyed that one a lot more. There was less suffering, let's say, and more enjoyment. Chukweze, Samu, I thought was excellent, but he's one of those players that every time I feel they face big teams, and particularly obviously teams that are not as defensively focused and perhaps sound as well as other jam-packed or disciplined defensive teams. But Chukweze is always, I'm always impressed with him, and I've always wondered what he would do at Barca. I think. I don't know exactly his age. I think he's in his mid-20s. But I want to see him at a big club. I think he's a very interesting player who's a little bit suffers from Jekyll and Hyde syndrome, because, like you said, he does fall away very often as well, where he's just somewhat of a non-factor. Pau with the pass, it was great. So, Emery, I can't really knock Emery neither for his planteamiento, like the formation, the way that Villarreal were playing Barca in the first half. I thought that was just a very competitive game, where in the second half I felt that Barca took their foot off of the accelerator a little bit too much. There wasn't as much production coming from the forwards neither, despite the good game that Griezmann had and the excellent finishing. And
awesome.
This. It was great. It was a fantastic goal. Golazo total. With the entrance of Dembele, it's he had good passes. Barca could have. De Jong had some big misses, some massive misses. As good as he was this game as well, for me, potentially maybe Barca's best, and he's just been playing on an awesome level. I mean, I'm so happy that Barca made the investment that they did in the day to acquire this Dutch youngster, because he's just an excellent midfielder for years to come.
I mean, you got to tip your hat to Asenjo on that play, though. Like, the way he comes over to save that was reminded me of Iker Casillas against Sevilla. I think it was in 2006, 2007. And I think he had 2 against Sevilla that were almost identical in different years. But like, it's an open net and he's running over and he just gets a save on it incredibly. It was an unbelievable save.
I know, but Frankie puts it right to Asenjo as well, man. He's got a lot of space on his right. Where you're just looking at a gaping hole, and it goes back to Asenjo. And then in the second half, after like a beautiful Dembele pass, I don't know if you remember that play, where he's again in front of Asenjo and chips him beautifully. Looks like it's going in.
Yes, yeah. I think so. This game, the thing is about Barca, I think overall they were better. Like, you can criticize some of the things they did, but they were the better team. I think Griezmann deserves his own bullet point from this game, because he's, to me, a feel-good success story and this is coming from a Madridista, the amount of criticism he put up with, and look, we can all say like, oh, boo-hoo, he's getting paid millions of dollars, play Barcelona, blah, blah, blah. But the amount of shtick he got from start to finish, never complained, played out of position, worked even when he was...
except for that time after playing with France where he did complain, where he said, my coach doesn't know where to play me. Remember?
Fine. I always love that you always have the one example ready to go in counter to what I say and counter to my sweeping generalizations. But like, he playing out of position, even when he wasn't playing well, would not stop moving without the ball, would not stop defending, would not stop hustling, working hard. His work ethic continues to be through the roof from start to finish. And now he has the production to go with it. And he's been an unbelievable asset. He's been fantastic. This game was awesome from him. His goal, I mean, he scored 2 goals, but his first goal in particular, where the confidence in which he took that told me about like where his head is at now. Like, I think he's just kind of...
Right.
Dare I say back?
Well said.
Is he back?
Well, I don't...
He's getting close. By back, I mean Atletico version.
Oh, okay. All right. My worry is now, though, what do you do with Dembele also being back?
Dembele, Griezmann, and Messi.
Mm-hmm.
The real problem becomes when Fati comes back.
De Jong. Yeah, of course. So, look, you're right. Griezmann, everything you said was right. And, you know, I've been critical of Griezmann, and I don't know, are you expecting an apology?
Yes.
No.
Apologize.
You got to give credit. You got to give credit where it is due. And look, a good Griezmann is a good Barca. Is good for Barca. So of course I'm happy to see Griezmann in his current state. I know that like Griezmann and Messi together have scored more goals than any other duo in the European competition at the moment. I think they total a tally of 50 and 36 in total in La Liga, which is more than any other La Liga duo. Or I think it was internationally as well. Hold on, I don't know my quarter.
Did you see the fiasco at the end of the Sevilla Granada game?
No, I missed that.
So Sevilla are up 2-1, and the referee adds 4 minutes of injury time. And after 93 minutes, the referee blows the whistle with a minute left. And all this, and Lopetegui's like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just walk to the locker room and pretend that I knew nothing about what the actual time was. Thanks, guys. He just leaves. He's like, this is great. And then Granada players just swarm the referee. Like, there's a minute left. What are you doing? And the referee keeps pointing to his watch. He's like, I don't know. This is what it says. And then,
oh my God.
And then I guess eventually he realizes his error. He calls Sevilla back from the locker room and tells them you have to play one more minute. So they just play one more minute, and it's Granada's like chasing the game, trying to get the ball, but they can't get it. Yeah, it was quite a bizarre ending.
Oh shit, that's hilarious, dude.
The referee got a lot of heat for that. I guess understandably so. I will say I thought he looked embarrassed by it, and I feel like it was just an honest human error. However, I will say one thing that got me even more upset than something like that is if you watch the Atletico game, Atletico. There's one point where Athletic have a breakaway and the referee calls it back instead of playing advantage and draws the yellow card and gives Athletic a free kick. Like that stuff bothers me more than what happened at the end of that game. But yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. But listen, the important thing is rectificar es de sabios. You know, he rectified his mistake, and that's a good thing. Because
Agreed.
It would have looked, you know, what I don't like is the stubbornness when that some referees, they stick to their guns, and probably in the back of their heads, they already know they fucked up big. And, you know, that 1 minute, I love how you described Lopetegui walking away like, oh, okay, well. I could just picture that. His face with those owl eyes. He's just like, all right, if he says so. And I can't believe I missed this. Thank you for pointing it out. I would have loved to have seen that minute as well. Imagine it just be frantic as fuck, just chasing 11 dudes. While Lopetegui's in the bathroom going, where's the rest?
He's just like gone home. He took the Uber home. He's like, oh, you final whistle.
He's driving. He's listening to it on the radio.
Big congrats. Lots of credit to Sevilla, to be honest. This has been
they're in there.
I'm happy for Lopetegui. These last couple of years have been really awesome for him. He's had squad turnover, but he's dealt well. And I don't, obviously my favorite thing that would happen is Real Madrid win the title. If somehow like Sevilla squeak through and win the title, would like Real Madrid, Atleti, and Barca fans be that upset? I feel like they would like, okay, we will allow this because this will never happen again. Someone other than us three winning the title. So here, take it. I feel like we'd be like the
totally.
Yeah.
As long as Madrid doesn't win it. They're
only 3 points back. Obviously not counting Barca's game in hand, but I just feel like, you remember last week when you said, don't give Sevilla fans hope on this podcast?
I did say that, didn't I? Holy shit.
I feel like, should we be putting more respect on their name? Like, should we be giving them, clearly. I don't know when my camera keeps cutting out here. Should we be giving them, should like, we're talking about Real Madrid schedule, Barca schedule, Atletico schedule, just for like to be for the sake of equality among top 4 teams. Sevilla's schedule is actually pretty difficult. Sevilla, Athletic, then Real Madrid, then Valencia, then Villarreal, then Alaves.
That sounds like.
But hey, man, they're the underdog punch. You know what? If they beat Real Madrid with 3 games left, that becomes pretty interesting, right?
Then you're looking at Real Madrid in 4th.
Don't matter, man. We got Super League. We can come 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
God damn it, man. You better not fucking win the Champions League, Kiyan. I'm so excited for this game. I'm really give me something to be hopeful about that Chelsea can pull off the upset.
I can give you many things to be hopeful about.
Really?
Chelsea are better than Atalanta and Liverpool. We are missing Ferland Mendy and Sergio Ramos. We had Mendy against Liverpool. We don't
Varane? Varane is back.
We have Varane. But Mendy missing is a huge absence. Fede Valverde is not there.
Okay.
Again, we won't have as much space, and you know how we do against teams that don't give us space. So you got this, bro.
You guys get scoring goals still. Benzi is the only one really scoring goals. We didn't last week.
Yeah. Hazard is back.
Azzi is back. Oh. He looked all right.
He looked good.
Saw a little bit.
Very polarizing figure.
Polarizing
figure in Real Madrid. There's a Real Madrid war right now within the fan base, a civil war of the people who just are really got upset that any Hazard praise was manifested after the Betis game, because they were like, you're delusional. He can't do anything. He's done. He's washed. And we can't put any faith in this guy. And then there was the other one just saying, like, put some respect on Hazard's name. And, he's Eden Hazard. If he comes back, he can make a difference. So there's that.
Well, we all know that there should be a third party in there that wish him all the best and wish that he actually played for Barca and would have become, according to his agent or his ex-agent, the best football player in the world.
Who said that?
Fuck, I guess you missed that. I saw it was published here in the newspapers, this interview, I guess, with his ex-agent, where he says Hazard should have gone to Barcelona. If he did, he would have become the best player in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And he gives.
That's totally believable.
No, listen. In all fairness, Hazard playing in a more in a freer system where the ball would be more at his feet, where he could where he would dictate and dominate the game more. I don't think it's a far-fetched idea that, or at least to toy around with the idea of how what Hazard would have looked like in a Barca system. I think it
all came down to injuries. That's what it was. I mean, that's basically what was going to separate this from working and not. If he was healthy the whole time, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't maintain his level to a certain degree. Like he was in that last year. He was arguably a top 5 player in the world in his last year at Chelsea. So if he's healthy, who's to say he can't do that? So if he's healthy at Barca or Real Madrid, I think wherever he was healthy, he probably would have succeeded. But the injuries just ravaged him. And the fact that his body's just kind of looks like it's breaking down. And he doesn't seem as confident. But yeah, we'll see. He had a little bounce in his step against Betis, but who knows what that means.
Yeah, like I said, he looked all right.
Yeah. I'm happy to wrap it here. Give people
let's go, boy.
1 hour to listen to before the game, and give them something to kill the time with. And we'll be back Friday. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So that could be very interesting. How are we going to decide? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Barca plays Granada on Thursday. We play Chelsea tonight, and the intro will be interesting, my friend. Hope you enjoy the game tonight, but not too much, and stay safe and go enjoy spending time with your kids. And we'll chat soon, buddy. Take care.
Sounds good, buddy. Peace.